So I've just called up our spreadsheet that we made that explored the number of males and females in e-block. If I would like to create a graph for this, I'm going to highlight all of the data associated with that graph. I don't want the total because that was just a second check. So I've highlighted the data with the column headings, and I am going to go to Insert Chart. And this chart is going to make some suggestions. Now, sometimes their suggestions are good, sometimes they're not so good. In this case, I really like the pie graph idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Customize, and I've noticed right away I don't like this title. It doesn't follow our format. So I am going to include the effective gender of the frequency the effective gender on the frequency in e-block of how many males and females there are. I like that one a lot, so I'm going to say, hey, let's insert it. Now I'm going to insert it down below, but before I do that, I need to size it properly. And I am going to kind of just try to stretch that out so I can see the full title. And I am showing my percent of the whole. That's what we've talked about. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look at the other kind of graph that we shared in class that was appropriate. And this could also be a bar graph. So I'm going to go back to Insert Chart. I'm going to say, hey, I really like the bar graph option. Definitely don't like that title. My IV is on the x-axis, my DV is on the y-axis. But now I'm going to go in and I'm going to customize it because I did not like that title. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, hey, the effective gender on the frequency in e-block of how many males and females there are. I've got my DV, I've got my IV. Kind of like it. I could actually go in and I could change the color of the title so that it matched. Don't really need to do that, but it, just want things looking spiffy. And so I like that. I'm going to insert it. And so now I'm going to change the size a little bit. And I'm going to bring it down here. And I have now got two graphs that really reflect the same thing. Kind of nice. Google Sheets, you're pretty awesome. That was quick. Now I've just clicked over to our finger touch experiment tab. In this case, we have our trial spreadsheet where we represented the first and second attempts at completing finger touches in 30 seconds. This is the spreadsheet where we summarize the information, where we're representing only the average information. This is the spreadsheet right here that we want to graph. We don't really care about our individual trials. We really want, in the end, just the general information that has been produced from the experiment. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to go up to my charts. Now, this is an interesting situation where it gives us a suggestion, a recommendation that a pie chart is appropriate, but we really don't want percent of the whole. We want to compare both our dominant and non-dominant hand. That's categorical information, so we really need a bar graph. So I like the bar graph. The IV is the handedness of whether we're dom or non-dom. And then the average finger touches is our DV. So let's go in and customize it. Really don't like those titles, so this is the effect of hand dominance on the number of finger touches in the experiment. Not so bad. Let's see if that one looks okay. I like it. Again, I'm kind of weird about colors. I like things to be color-coded. And so I'm going to say insert this. In this case, I can now move it around. I can resize it if I want. My title isn't nice and linear, so I can spread it out, and then I could adjust it, make it a little bit smaller. Well, I guess I can't do that because I really want my whole title. And I'm done. So I have a bar graph. To take a look at our final graph, we're going to take a look at linear relationships on a line graph. I've copied from our master data table over just the information about height and weight. I know there's a relationship between the two. I'm going to select my data. I'm going to go to my chart maker, and it looks really confused. I've got all kinds of options here, and I need to make some decisions. In this particular graph, both the height and the weight appear to be dVs. There is no IV. I know that's wrong. This one will do the same. This one treats them both as a dV with no, treats them both as an IV with no dV. Let's go over here for a minute. This one takes a look at the relationship between my IV, which is my height, and my dV, which is my weight. But this is a scatter graph. It's not really a line graph. But I like where this is going. Let's see what options I have in customization. If I go to customization, I can change that title to the effect of height on weight in E-block. And I'm going to change the color of that. And then I'm going to go down. I can change all kinds of things. I can change my axes labels, and I can put some space in there. I can set my minimums and my maximums, so instead of starting at 100, I can change that. I don't mind the way it is right now. But then if I scroll down, it says a trending line, and right now there's no line, and I would like a line. So I'm going to ask for the line of best fit. So what it's going to do is it's going to put a line in there so I can interpolate or perhaps even extrapolate on my graph. I like that a lot. Let's insert that. So I now have a nice graph. Now I need to go in and I need to add a label. So I could say figure W, and I will consider that done. Now I know that my spreadsheet doesn't fit the rules, and I could take the time to do that, but right now we're going to focus on graphs.